Well, folks, we're talking to Tim Wilkerson, the big homecoming this weekend. Race number 2 in Illinois, you're 1 for 1. And
Yeah, how about that?
yeah, they called you state champion.
That's a good one.
Been an exciting year, adding a primary sponsor, and
Yep.
I imagine that's been a real breakthrough for you because, I mean, I know it's been a great story.
Yeah.
Nick Levi and LRS is a great story, self-made man.
Yep.
But this, I guess, you've really found another gear.
Well, we really I never needed for anything before when Levi ran shop were my primary sponsor, but this, the gentleman, Randy Goley from Skag Power Equipment, he actually, it's a 3-year contract. It's a good contract. It's going to be able to, concrete us into the future more than anything that we need, right? So everything changes, nothing stays the same. So that we were real happy getting that done, and so far we're doing okay with it. The car runs good, and we're making good decisions, and I think it's going to be an exciting next couple of years for us.
Well, and I talked to Jack Clark, the old baseball slugger and NHRA guy in the past, and
Yeah.
he just marveled at how you work the circuit and then keep a business running.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Old school, full service, station there on Chatham Road, Springfield.
Yeah.
How do you pull it off?
Well, just very lucky, to tell you the truth. I have a lot of good people that work for me, and everything goes good when they're there doing their job, and I can come out here and do my job out here. And this is all about the sponsors, like you say. It's all about Skag Power Equipment and Ford and Summit Racing Equipment and Levi Rand Shop. We have a ton of Levi Rand Shop people here this weekend, so that's going to be my focus.
700 guests over the weekend.
Yep.
That sounds like running for president or something.
How about that, huh? Yep. Well, I'd like to be president. That'd be exciting. I'd like to know where my money goes. That'd be kind of fun. But no, I'm real happy to have all those folks here, because first off, they're all my friends. I've known them all I've been doing this for 20-some years. Had LRS for 24 years. So that's a great accomplishment. There's probably only a couple other sponsors in the history of NHRA, maybe Castrol with John and Budweiser with Kenny, that's been longer than Levi Rand Shop has been with Tim Wilkerson. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was. I know it's old news now, but just exciting to see not only that facility survive but thrive. I remember Allgaier. I thought it just seemed like it. I remember when it looked like his career was in peril.
Yep.
Danica gets in a wreck.
Yep.
And the thought of this track not being here, your quote-unquote home track, it's
Right.
just great to see it where it's at now.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have the gentlemen that took it over and do such a great job with it. He had a vision with it and wasn't going to take no for an answer. So that's the greatest part about all of this, is somebody else cares about our sport, and he's making it bigger and better. Right? They had IndyCar this year and NASCAR this year, so we're still the coolest, no doubt about it. Them guys going around in circles, yeah. But to me, I'm glad he's around.
When did you discover the need for speed? Was it in a carriage in Washington Park and you're saying, better tires, faster?
Yeah.
I know Springfield had the great speedway out there.
How about
Clear
that?
Lake. When did the bug bite you?
I had a lot of buddies that we raced at old Shahane's there, and we'd go there and have some fun and help some circle track guy. But I was always a drag race guy. I had a 68 Roadrunner, and I thought that was the coolest thing that ever was. And so I was bit with that bug early. And then I worked for a guy that had a 63 Dodge Superstocker. So, man, I was hooked to Chryslers at that point in time. But we was lucky to be around and all that kind of stuff, and had some good mentors and got me in the auto repair business. So, very lucky.
Well, this pit pass business, I'll say it right someday, it seems to be like the best fan experience in sports, hands-on. You can go somewhere and see a baseball player, but you're not in there watching them in the cage.
Right.
Yada yada. Even NASCAR, as nice as the pit experience is there, this is a real apples for apples. Watching guys at work, feeling like you're at the scene behind the scenes.
Well, for 20 plus years with Levi Rand Shop, they would bring, for lack of better terms, computer geeks to the racetrack, right? And when we first started doing that, the CFO said, our people aren't going to care about stuff like that. And after a couple of years, I'd go in there to negotiate my contract, and he'd say, "Boy, if Mr. Levi don't want to do this next year, I'm going to argue with him, because I have nothing but positive feedback from this." Same thing's been happening with the folks from Skag Power Equipment. Randy from Skag Power Equipment has told me, man, his distributors and dealers are just in awe at how cool this fan experience is. So you're absolutely right. We're second to none fan experience, and I'm very lucky to have the sponsors that I have and to be involved in that.
I think what you do is fighting for the preservation of car culture. You know, you got these, I don't want a driver's license at 16.
Right.
That to me is unimaginable.
Me too.
And computers on wheels and working on the vehicles and showing the love of horsepower, and not just, obviously there's computerization and
Right.
tuning these, you know.
10,000 horsepower engines,
Yeah, you couldn't do it without it, but it's almost, I guess it's almost like a gears and wheels ministry in a way.
It is, yeah. Well, you know, I've been sponsored by Ford Motor Company for the last 10 years, and I've even had some real arguments with engineers from Ford because I'll get a vehicle from them, and you know, they want my opinion and all this, and I keep trying to tell them that everybody's not an 18-year-old kid, right? Sometimes we need knobs and buttons at work. I have old people that trade with me at my repair shop in Springfield, and I've taken them to the local Ford dealer to buy a car, and they can't even figure out how to run the damn wipers or turn the radio on because everything is so touch button and blah, 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 right? So it is interesting that being an old guy that I never really thought I'd be that way. I'd always thought technology, I would embrace it, and I would think it was really cool, but some things, you're right, are a little off the hook. And you know, kids this day and age, when I had all my gas stations, mothers were more of my problem than the kids were, because the kids wanted to go to work, but their mothers didn't want them to, because after all, little Johnny used to go out and play ball with his buddies, and boy, I used to have the biggest argument with him about that. So, but I did grow up in the greatest era in the world where cars were the coolest, and you weren't cool unless you had a cool car. So that's how I got to where I am. But I'm like you. I'd rather kids would get out and play with their cars, get on their bicycles, get off the damn computer.
Well, I know you don't commute by funny car or anything like that.
No, sir.
After going 300 plus, how hard is it just to
drive
go
down the
25
road
miles an hour and sit at a red light?
Everybody asks me that. I bet you really got a cool car. Well, I can tell you that I don't. I got a brand new Ford pickup truck that I drive every day, but I have 3 old cars. I got an old Dodge Challenger and an old Mustang and an old Chevelle, because I like all brands, and I drive them from time to time. And my favorite's a 53 Ford pickup. I got one that's all jacked around and has got a cool drivetrain in it. But we have a great time with all of that, and you know, but you're right. It's hard not to go fast.
Is this like a pitcher in baseball? I mean, I know your eye-foot coordination, we don't use that term very often, but it may not be what it was when you started.
Yep.
Is it like just your knowledge kind of makes up for whatever
I hope
Father
so.
Time does?
Yeah, I hope so. I can still leave with them from time to time, but you know, there's a couple of them, Robert and Matt Hagan and Tasca. Them guys do a little better job than I do on a regular basis, but I don't cheat it. I don't drive it in and try to make myself look good. You know, and not to beat up John, but we all know John does that. He's a great guy, but we have a good time with that. But no, I think I'm still with him. I have something for him.
TV coverage to me seems like it's been pretty good.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Here in that's a pretty good contract. Fox has done their due diligence and makes it look fun.
Yeah, no, Fox is a great asset to our sport. There's no doubt about it. You know, we're always looking for better air times, and but they do a good job with us and try to take care of us. And I like the way they explain to people what's going on, because most people don't understand drag racing. I like the way now where you can see how people stage, and that makes an old guy like me look a little better.
300 plus. I don't imagine you see anything but what's in front of you. Just, I guess, a little peripheral just to make sure someone isn't coming to your side. But
right.
What is that experience like?
That is an experience that you really can't explain to somebody. And as the older I get, it seems like the worse I do at that. Because what happens is you'll be driving through there and you'll look at something, and when you look at something, you drive at it. I mean, you cannot stop it. So, but you know, I don't know. This has probably been my worst year of staying in the groove, which I shouldn't say out loud. But I'm excited about getting able to do it. You know, being able to do it, period, is exciting for me. And at my age, it's to go 330 miles an hour on a regular basis, like you say, nobody can explain that to somebody.
So the home crowd, obviously you're not looking at them while you're running down the strip, but do you see them before
oh, yeah.
they start the lights up?
Yeah, before and after, man. We do a lot of autographs and shake a lot of hands and kiss a lot of babies, but it's a good time. And like I said, a lot of these people I've known for 20 plus years. So we have a group called the Wilk Warriors, and they'll be across the track over there, and there's a couple hundred of them boogers, so they have a good time too.
Well, obviously you have a love of this, love of racing, love of cars. More than anything, what keeps you coming back? I know this is not for the faint of heart. It is a heck of a job. 1 step forward, 2 steps back, building engines up again. And
yep.
It's a unique animal.
It is very humbling. Yes, you're absolutely right. you ever wonder if you're great or not, go drag racing, because one week you're great, the next week you're not crap, right? So, but you're absolutely right about that. But I think what brings me back is the fans. I literally have somebody walk up to me that's 30 years old and go, "You don't remember this, but you played Frisbee with me in a parking lot in Atlanta in 1985. And I'll never forget that." To me, that's cool. You know what I mean? Because you've made a friend, and you've made a fan, and you've made a relationship.
Tim Wilkerson, always good to chat with you.
Thank you.
I mean, all-time greats in Springfield. I know you weren't president, but
Yep.
you got to be up there on that Springfield Mount Rushmore.
I appreciate it, brother.
All right, thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.